There's a very interesting story about Jesus in the New Testament in the book of John, where he cleanses the temple, as it were. And I want to read it to you because I was reading another passage in the Philokalia earlier this week, and they raised the issue of this cleansing of the temple, which is quite a violent act on the part of Jesus. And so it's something that has caused a lot of people to do a lot of thinking, and I joined into that fray this week. So the story is like this. The Passover of the Jews was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. In the temple, he found those who were selling oxen and sheep and pigeons, and the money changers all sitting there. And making a whip of cords, he drove them all out of the temple with the sheep and the oxen. And he poured out the coins of the money changers and overturned their tables. And he told those who sold the pigeons, "Get these things out of here. Do not make my Father's house a house of trade." His disciples remembered that it was written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." So the Jews said to him, "What sign do you show that gives you the authority to do these things?" And Jesus answered them, "Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up." The Jews then said, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you think you're going to build it again in 3 days?" But Jesus was talking about the temple of his body. And so reading this story about the beloved Jesus and this violent reaction to the Jews abusing the temple and turning it into a place of selling animals and changing money and whatnot, and the fact that Jesus said tear this temple down and in 3 days I'll rebuild it, and that was a kind of a foreshadowing of his resurrection, the 3 days that he would lay in the grave. But I think that frames the story more importantly, that this story itself is about our body, your body and my body. That, as you know from the Rig Veda, that indeed this body is the temple of the divine, that divine spirit, the Atman. And that these avatars have such a passion, a zeal for reestablishing our nature, for reestablishing our illumination, our knowing who we are and what we are. And will resort to anything necessary in order to bring us to our fullest enlightenment, to be full of joy, to be full of love, to be full of profundity and depth and worship in everything that we do and that we manage in a day. And what a wonderful sign of the commitment of the divine to us in such a zealous way of doing whatever is necessary, that we can consider the difficult things happening in our lives to be the whip of Jesus, the whip of Ramakrishna, the whip of Buddha, bringing us to a better frame of mind, to a pure interior, to a more authentic mode of being. The Buddhists I've heard and seen actually in documentaries, that when they meditate, that one of the brahmacharis will be standing there with a staff or a stick or a bamboo pole, and if one of the monks nods off during meditation, they have to lean forward and take a whack with that stick on their back. And that dedication to being attentive during their practice. And so this is that. This is the beloved being deeply involved in driving out the materialism within our mind and our body, driving out the animals of lust and greed that inhabit our mind, overturning the tables for those people changing money, who are metering out their love and their devotion in small little trinkets based on who deserves it. Jesus goes in and flips these tables over, makes them unusable again in that way. So there it is. Clean the temple, establish God in the heart, establish love in the heart, and become that purified temple.